December 2008. A 70-year-old man sits his two sons down in a quiet room. No lawyers, no cameras, no warning. And then, with four words, he says something that will shake everything, without averting his eyes, without apologizing. It's all a lie. Not the market, not the economy, not some bad investments that got out of hand. Everything. $65 billion, 20 years, thousands of lives, all of it. A lie. And the most haunting part of this story isn't the number, it isn't the scale, it isn't even that he got away with it for 2 decades. It's that everyone trusted him, completely, desperately, willingly. Bernie Madoff didn't steal money. He stole something far more valuable. He stole trust, and he did it while wearing a smile that nobody ever thought to question. This is how he did it, and more importantly, this is why it still matters today. Let's go back. Before the scandal, before the arrests, before the courtrooms and the documentaries, let's go back to when Bernie Madoff was just a guy with $5,000 and an idea. Year 1960, New York City. A young man, sharp-eyed, ambitious, unremarkable on the surface, starts a small brokerage firm. No Wall Street pedigree, no family connections, no prestigious university opening doors, just $5,000 from a part-time job as a lifeguard and a sprinkler installer. Bernie Madoff wasn't born into money. He built credibility, slowly, deliberately, one handshake at a time. And here's what makes this story genuinely complicated. He was actually good at it. He became a pioneer in electronic trading. He helped build the technology that would become NASDAQ. He didn't just join the financial establishment, he built part of it. Chairman of NASDAQ 3 times. The man who would become the greatest fraudster in American history was also one of the architects of modern markets. He was, by every external measure, exactly what he appeared to be, a legend. And that legitimacy became the most dangerous weapon in his arsenal. Because when you've spent 30 years building trust, nobody questions the 31st. Here's where the story splits. Bernie Madoff ran 2 businesses, simultaneously, for decades. Upstairs, real trades, real clients, real finance. Downstairs, something else entirely. A room, a small team, an ancient IBM computer, designed to generate one thing only: the illusion of perfect returns, consistent returns, 10 to 12%, every year, rain or shine, bull market or bear market. Bernie's numbers went up, always. Show someone a pattern that never breaks. Eventually they stop asking why. The strategy was called split-strike conversion, complicated enough that clients felt foolish asking for clarification, so they didn't ask. Numbers always grew, a portfolio that seemed to exist in a completely different universe, and the beautiful, terrible truth? He wasn't trading anything. Not a single dollar touched the market. It sat in a bank account. And when clients wanted returns, Madoff paid them using money from newer investors. Classic Ponzi, oldest trick in the book, dressed in a bespoke suit. But here's what made Madoff different from every other con in history. He didn't chase clients, he turned them away. You didn't call his office and ask to invest, you got introduced. Through a friend, through a country club, through a charity dinner where someone whispered they knew a guy. You don't find Madoff, he finds you. And if you were lucky enough to get an invitation, you didn't ask questions. You wrote the check. You felt grateful. Being a Madoff investor wasn't just a financial decision, it was an identity. I'm in the room. I'm trusted. I'm one of the people who knows. And that identity made intelligent people stop thinking. Hedge funds wired hundreds of millions without due diligence. Banks built feeder fund structures to funnel client money toward him. Charities, foundations, retirement accounts, all flowing toward a man whose trading records didn't exist, because nobody asked to see them, and the one person who did couldn't sleep for years. His name was Harry Markopolos. The year 1999, 9 years before the collapse. He figured it out in 4 hours. The numbers simply couldn't exist in the real world. He went to the SEC. The world's largest hedge fund is a fraud. I've done the math. They asked Madoff for records. He handed them fabricated documents. They nodded and concluded everything looked fine. Markopoulos went back in 2001, 2005, 2007, each time with more proof. Each time the SEC concluded Madoff was clean. This wasn't just a regulatory failure, it was a failure of imagination. Madoff's credibility functioned as armor. The truth was standing at the door, and the armor turned it away. Then 2008 arrived, and it didn't knock politely. Lehman Brothers collapsed. Markets fell. Panic spread from trading floors to kitchen tables. Madoff's investors wanted their money back. $7 billion in withdrawal requests. He had a few $100 million in the account. The engine needed constant fuel, and the fuel had run out. For the first time in 2 decades, there was no trick left. Just a 70-year-old man staring at a number that couldn't be fixed. On December 10, 2008, he called his sons into a room. Mark and Andrew worked in the legitimate side of the business. They didn't know. And when their father told them the truth, quietly, without ceremony, as if delivering a weather report, their world ended in a single sentence. It's all one big lie. The next morning, they called a lawyer. That afternoon, they called the FBI, December 11th. Federal agents knocked on Madoff's penthouse door. He answered it himself. No resistance, no lawyers, no cover story. There is no innocent explanation, he told them. After 20 years, $65 billion and thousands of destroyed lives, it was over. In 30 seconds, at a front door, without a single dramatic gesture. The victims emerged slowly, then all at once. Celebrities, charities, banks, pension funds, a children's cancer charity, a Holocaust Survivors Foundation. Retirees who had trusted their entire savings to Madoff. Some lost millions, some lost everything. And the grief wasn't only financial. People had believed in him, not just in his returns, in him. It was personal, existential, the kind of loss that doesn't appear on a balance sheet. In June 2009, Madoff pleaded guilty to 11 federal felonies, 150 years. His auditor was a 3-person firm in a suburban strip mall, auditing one of the largest funds in the world. Nobody asked why. Bernie Madoff died in federal prison, April 2021, age 82. Quiet, no tributes, no mourning, just a final period on the longest, most crooked sentence in American financial history. Here's the part nobody wants to sit with. This story isn't about Madoff, it's about us, about the desperate human need to belong, to be chosen, and how that need overrides the part of the brain that runs the numbers. Right now, the same architecture exists in dozens of forms. Guaranteed returns called stable yield, exclusivity called accredited investors only, feeder funds called platforms and ecosystems. The names change, the psychology doesn't. What are you not questioning right now? Because questioning it would mean giving up the feeling of being in the room. That's the inheritance Madoff left behind. Because the next Madoff won't announce himself. He'll have impeccable credentials, a waiting list, and returns that seem almost boring in their consistency. And somewhere there will be a Harry Markopoulos doing the math. The only question is whether anyone will listen this time. And this time, will someone question certain things? We follow the money and the people the money left behind. The next story is already waiting, and it's bigger than Bernie. Stay close.